my grandpa. It's obviously from Hiroshima, and I'm gonna read my grandpa's story. So you have to come closer, I think. Can you see? This is like a Japanese story. Can you see?
Yeah.
You made this?
Yes.
Oh,
Could you see? Are you sure?
Yes.
Rachel?
I can't read Japanese.
Anyway, but you can see. I'll read it. I'll read it. I'll read it. Are you good? Can you see?
It says my grandma on the front.
Yeah.
I can read that.
I'll slouch it.
All right. I will read it in English so that you can understand, don't you? Right? All right. My grandpa. What do you think it is?
I know.
Journal.
Yeah,
Journal?
His passport.
Passport?
Passport?
Oh, his hour log. His log of his money.
Money? No. This is my grandpa's record showing that he was an atomic bomb victim. This record is given to the people who were injured by the atomic bomb on August 6th in 1945 at 8:15 a.m. in Hiroshima. My grandpa's record mentioned that he was 1.2 miles from the epicenter, which is here. My grandpa was making a weapon in Hiroshima. He made the gun barrels. The barrels were used for cannon on the battleship or cannons on the battlefield. My grandpa worked so hard from morning to evening for his country. In those days of Hiroshima, streetcar ran on Aioi Bridge, and there was a beautiful prefectural industrial promotional hall along Motoyasu River. The entertainments for ordinary people in those days are boating and fishing on the Motoyasu River and viewing cherry blossom along Aioi Bridge and appreciating koi fish and plants in the park. Among kids, they played with jumping ropes and Japanese badminton. My grandpa lived in Hatsukaichi, Hiroshima, with his wife and 2 kids. My uncle remembered that he walked with grandma and grandpa along with the bank of the river. In 1939, World War II started and Japan attacked Pearl Harbor in December 8, 1941. In 1942, Japan lost the War of Midway. On March 10, 1945, Tokyo was attacked, and on April 1, 1945, Okinawa was attacked. The war was getting worse. My grandpa felt danger, so he decided to evacuate my grandma and 2 kids to the next prefecture, Okayama. He bought a shed there, and grandma and the 2 kids lived there, and grandpa went back and kept working for weapon factory in Hiroshima. On August 6, 1945, at 8:15 a.m., the United States dropped the first nuclear weapon, Little Boy, on Hiroshima. Among 350,000 people of Hiroshima population, more than 10,000 people died instantly. The people who are record of atomic bomb victim were not only proved the victim, but they are also compensated for their medical bills. There are mainly 2 types of victims: direct victims and indirect victims of atomic bomb. The direct victims were injured when atomic bomb was dropped. The indirect victims were people who are not in around the epicenter at the time of explosion, but came into to rescue the victims and or relatives. My grandpa is indirect victim. Why wasn't he a direct victim? Was he working in Hiroshima? The day before the atomic bomb was dropped, he went to Okayama. We don't know the reason why he went back. However, after he heard the news of atomic bomb was being dropped on Hiroshima, he went back to Hiroshima very next day. Does anyone know why my grandpa wanted to go back even if Hiroshima was a disaster and destroyed by atomic bomb? There wasn't any information about the radiation at that moment. The only information my grandpa had was that Hiroshima was destroyed, so he needed to go back to rescue the people. The next day, my grandpa saw a lot of people crying and asking for water. The scenery was devastating and there were dead people everywhere. He told his friend, "Do not steal anything from the victims. It is not right to do." My uncle's teacher was direct victim and his ear was melted by atomic bomb. However, he lived lively and passed away at the age of 90. My uncle's other colleagues was very beautiful and they walked together, but she passed away by the age of 18 from the radiation sickness. The influence of the radiation was varied depending on person. My grandpa passed away at the age of 100. He has 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 12 great-grandchildren. He was very active and never stopped challenging himself. His blood is in my body and is inherited to my children. I want them to keep talking about their grandpa's story, but not only for my children, but also my students. In the world, there is a truth that you cannot prove anymore. From the different perspectives, you can be a perpetrator or a victim. Therefore, I want to tell my grandpa's story as a teacher.